Hello everyone. So in this video, we're going to talk about how authentication actually works in normal SaaS applications. So what we're going to deal with are normal auth because we cannot find the tutorials. The tutorials that we see on the internet, on YouTube specifically, they just contain a JWT presentation or OAuth presentation, but how to actually build a good OAuth system. There are very few resources for that. So I'll go with it. So supposingly, so in our auth system, what we'll be needing is what we'll be giving the user is two things. We'll give him the ability to add a user email and a password, either that, or we'll give him the option to log in via Google, right? So we have OAuth and JWT using this thing. So this is our client application, and this is our JWT server, which is our login server. Now this will store the sessions for our applications, and this is the Google's OAuth application. Okay, supposing the user comes, supposing the user comes and goes to the OAuth for the client. We click on sign in with Google and we go to OAuth, and we give the OAuth permissions of user email and phone numbers and date of birth, whatever we require according to our application. Then what OAuth does is it responds back. It responds back with the JWT. Here, this thing here, it returns the JWT token containing after. This is all after it authenticates your sign in, that just you are the right email holder and you know the password of your email, or either you have already logged in your Google Chrome with that particular email, right? So then this thing sends the JWT to the client, which again gets sent to the server, our JWT server, right? So the client sends it to our JWT server, and this is where the magic of JWT actually happens. So what happens is our JWT server, it uh, it firstly does one thing. It takes the user details from our JWT server, from JWT server, JWT payload. Sorry, my bad. The payload that we get from Google, our JWT server retrieves the user details, whatever it requires, and stores it in the database. Now, for our application, we need to have a session for our application. So, how that happens is then our server, it does one thing. Creates a two to it creates its own JWT token, which is the application's JWT token, and that token is sent to the client. So it is sent to the client. Okay, come on. Yeah. So it is sent to the client, and this JWT token, this is nothing but the access token. Again, in JWT, we have two types of token, which are nothing but, I'll write it over here. We have one is access token, and one is refresh token. So if you go on the internet, you research what these are, you can easily find a lot of tutorials for this. So I'll just go briefly what they mean. This refresh, yeah. So basically, access tokens are the one which contain the access, and whenever clients send any request to the server, it sends the refresh token, sorry, the access token as well, and our client authenticates that yes, this is the authorized user, and gives him or her whatever data is required. Now, for the refresh token, the refresh tokens are the one which are stored as HTTP only cookies. These guys are just, this refresh token is stored as just an HTTP only cookie, right? Again, HTTP only cookie, you can learn about it on the internet. I don't know what is this. Yeah. Okay. So refresh token is stored as an HTTP only cookie. The role of the refresh token is pretty simple. It is used to refresh the access token. So for the access token, they'll have a time to live. Supposingly, the access token has a time to live of 5 minutes, or even for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever suits your application. And once the user is completed his or her 5 minutes, now he again sends the request to the server, but with the expired access token. In that case, we cannot tell the user that you have logged out and you need to log in again, because that will turn out to be a bad user experience. So in that case, we use the refresh token, and we see if the refresh token is still active, and also the refresh tokens have larger time to live. It can be 1 day, it can be 30 days, depending on your application. So if you look into applications like Upwork, when you log into them and when you log out, even if you don't log out, you just close your Chrome browser and you logged in morning and you come in the evening, you'll be logged out. But the same does not happen with Instagram, right? So for Instagram, you have been logged down for so long, logged in for so long. Okay. So refresh token again depends on the application which you're designing, the time to live for refresh token. Okay. So the refresh token again, now when the refresh token takes the access token, refresh token generates the new access token. In the case of access token being dead, the refresh token does nothing. But when the refresh token does one, okay, I'll just do one thing. Yeah. So I'll just write it over here. But just I'm not gonna make an arrow. Okay, this would be better over here. Just give me a second. Yeah. So our refresh token just creates a new access token, right? And simple. Then this is also pretty simple basic stuff. You can find the code for it online. Now there's one more important thing that we need to take care of when the user logs out. So obviously the access token will be expired in after 5 minutes, but the refresh token, they will definitely be there for the whole day. That is not a good security measure. Even though the refresh tokens are stored into HTTP only cookies, there are ways to hijack the refresh token as well. So for that, we have our one more database. If let me see, do we have database over here? I don't know. Let's see. So I'll just copy this thing and consider this as database. Okay, I'll put this thing over here. This is nothing but our blacklisting database, right? This database, most probably in most of the applications, is nothing but Redis. You can do any database of your choice. But what we want to do is, when the user logs out, we want to take the JWT, the refresh token, and the access token both in this case. Okay, because the more we secure the application, even though there are some vulnerabilities. Okay, so we take these two tokens and we store them in our database, right? So I'll just draw an arrow from here, right? Come on. Right. So these things get stored in this blacklisting database after logout, right? After logout, these things are stored inside the database, and we can run a cron job. Yeah, if you know what a cron job is, it's nothing but a repetitive task which gets run maybe 24 once in 24 hours, once in a week, once in a month, again depending on design of your application. So you can run a cron job to delete the values from this database which have already been expired. So this all in all is something you can use for authentication with JWT and OAuth. Also, there's one more thing that I'd like to mention. For the refresh tokens, they will be stored as an HTTP only cookie. For access tokens, if you're using React, you can use the context API to pass the access token throughout your application. And yep, that's it for the video. Thank you.